I'm gonna walk in. Yay. So, equipment. I personally believe that the first through third, maybe even fourth to fifth levels, your characters are getting treasure and mainly upgrading their equipment. Not just armor and weapons, but a fallback weapon, a variety of weapons. Equipping hirelings, carts, wagons, donkeys, draft horses, mounts for themselves to make overland journey quicker, and having the ability to get more treasure out of the dungeon. It's a go-to, at least for my guys, and how I play as a player. If I'm starting at first, buddy, I'm going to be creating a base camp, forward base camp, hirelings to pack everything in. And the bonus of having that wagon and cart and stuff is you can bring along items that are bigger than what you can carry for encumbrance. Block and tackle. Once you bring a block and tackle into a room with a couple carts, you can remove large statuary. Statuary is very valuable. It's also a big pain in the ass to move. So you could slap 30,000 gold piece value on a piece of statue in a place, and it will rarely ever leave the dungeon, therefore no XP given. But if you engineering leaning toward types or combat engineer experienced players, they're going to go, we can take it. And then you have the mentality of some players, they take everything. If it's not nailed down, they will take everything out of the dungeon if you're not paying attention to encumbrance. They say, we'll take it, we'll take it, we'll take it. And if you're not paying attention, how'd you get all this stuff back to town? They just did. In Stonehell, there is a bag of tools. Those tools, every time the parties find that run Stonehell, that bag of tools always becomes a permanent fixture. It's generic enough, it's considered heavy, and it's a variety of tools, so they always have the right tool for the job. And that's how he just ran it. It was a large bag of tools. But they were cutting bars. If you come up to portcullises and you don't have the strength, and I've always allowed people, for the most part, to lift portcullises. The problem is, if it's locked or they can't get to the lever, sometimes knock won't work. Open portal. Actually, for Dragon Slayer, there's no opposite to hold portal. I think there's an open close. I got used to using, so if it's not locked, this opens it. Then you got to cut the bars or bend the bars. So if you have a bending bar gate kit, it just takes time. Cutting the bars takes time. The use of in Greg Gillespie's dungeons and in the dungeon crawls that he writes, spades, excavation are all timed things you can do, and that the more time you put into something, the more likely you're going to encounter wandering monsters. Now there's going to be rewards. So using sledgehammers to bust open crypt doors or knock down old bricked up walls. 1 to 3 turns, maybe 4. But you're making a lot of noise and you're rolling winding encounters. But using your hand axe to chop down a door, it's not what it's designed for. It was designed to chop up people and deliver killing blows, and not to be an instrument of door opening. But if you have some hirelings and their job is to carry the sledgehammer, the fire axe, And I don't know why people don't do this. In my rules, a locked door prevents an open doors check. That's why you got your teeth. You can go around it. You can bust the door down. It'll take time. There is an instant open door equipment, and it's called a battering ram. So when you bring up your 4 men-at-arms with a battering ram and they hit the locked door, if it's not like Katie barred or crossbarred for fortification, that door flies open. They open the door. A battering ram, I don't know if you've watched a SWAT raid, a battering ram will open up a regular locked door pretty easy. And that's kind of the basic equipment. That's not even getting into when your party wants to make your damn war wagon, which they will. Someone's going to watch an old Western and go, we need a war wagon. And they're going to be this monstrosity, a 4-8 axle thing drawn by the biggest creatures they can get, or a bunch of oxen that they just fire out of and turtle up. The war wagon is how we secure our campsite. The men-at-arms are in there. You can't get to them. That is defensive structures, so you'll need to have siege equipment to get into the war wagon. And we made sure there's plenty of arrows. We did that once. We parked 2 of those in the front of the dungeon. The part 2 war wagons from the dungeon started venturing. When things chased us out, they got 40 arrows from the men-at-arms. And there's other equipment you can use. People who do construction, if you let them go carte blanche into a game, and just let them use their personal knowledge as being, people who tear shit up and build stuff, they get pretty creative by getting around doors. It's like, door frame ain't reinforced, blah, blah, blah. We'll just go around it. In a game with magic, it seems a little mundane to fall back on that stuff, but it's cheaper. You gotta be like 7th or 8th level before you get around to getting that transmute rock to mud or stone shape. Stone shape's amazing for getting around doors and stuff. All right, I put a hole in the wall. What? I move all the stone away from the door frame, and we just push it. It all falls down. Or your pit, your portable pit from your useful items, I throw it under the door. We just go down under the door and back up on the other side. All cool things you can do with magic, but equipment is what you can afford at 1st to 3rd level. And if you're a brat and you're not pumping too much into your armor or having like ridiculous amounts of extra stuff, then you can afford to hire hirelings, or you can get a cart, drag all your extra stuff, your extra big stuff that you normally wouldn't do because you couldn't afford it. Equipment is a sign of wealth and experience as well. So other people will be like, "Oh man, they got to get stuff together." That's how my opinion is on it, right? So yeah, the carrying lots of planks into a dungeon seems kind of lame until you get hedged in by a bunch of pit traps. You got 11-foot boards, 12-foot boards. You just make quick and easy ways to get over. It sure beats going down into the pit and then going up the other side where you're vulnerable. I've not had my guys get ambushed, but every time I do that, I roll a water monster check. I'm just wanting to catch some people in the pit. And depending on the creatures, I do have some squads of kobolds or cold bloods, and some squads of these blue skinned goblins that carry flaming oil. We just set the pit on fire. Wait, you're at the bottom of the pit, man. You're standing in the fire. Ah! He doesn't have to roll to hit you. He's putting the pit on fire. Better hope there's not a lot of refuse in there that can burn a while. It'd be an arrow slugfest over a pit with a lot of dead humanoids, but it would be funny. What other kind of equipment? Mountain climbing. You got your terrains for certain terrains you're going to be into. Climbing equipment. Your spiked gauntlets and shoes. So if I'm going to fight the icy area, no one ever takes into account who's wearing spiked things on the sheet of ice. The guy with the cleats is going to have an advantage And those who aren't, guess they're making some dex checks. Mundane stuff. If the equipment's not in the book, jerry rig something, see if your DM goes along with it. Quick and easy. I got an idea. The town blacksmith will become your friend doing custom jobs. The DM will like it because it also becomes a money sink, a gold sink to keep you kind of poor and thirsty for the adventure. But then you're getting stuff that works for your adventure. But you're going to have to hire some people to help you because you can't carry it all. I thought I'd touch on that. And then there's some unique materials and stuff, superior materials. It's like a superior set of thieves' tools that give him plus 10%. I've used those quite a bit. They're just made out of better metal. The lockpicks don't bend, they don't break because they're made out of something good. Same way with dwarf steel or dwarf iron. It makes certain things indestructible. So if I have a crowbar that's indestructible, eventually that thing's going to find a bite and open the door. Because I do a thing, if you roll a 6 on a d6, when you're using a crowbar, it gets bent. These don't bend. So, stuff like that for your dungeon. Block and tackling. The big stuff you don't want to carry. General equipment matters. And sometimes a lot of it gets left in the dungeon. If you got to empty out that backpack, you're leaving all that stuff there to carry out treasure. If you can find a better way to do that, it's always a plus. More XP. Alright, I'm kind of rambling. I'm kind of dizzy. I'm going to talk to y'all later. You game well, game often.